Just gonna pop around the corner here. Stop right here and start fishing again. Actually, start fishing is what I should say, because this is basically the area that sometimes there's bass here, but I'm really not here to catch the bass. I just wanted to talk again about the four major products. One being the chi machine, which is the motion device. The motion therapy is what you can call it. I like to call it more of an oxygenator. The second product is the far infrared dome, the hothouse, not to be confused with a hothouse in gardening where you grow plants. This is far infrared, which is the benefits of the sun's rays without the ultraviolet. Then the next is the e-power machine. It's in the electric category area, and that's where that's a system that brings the negative ions into the body in a very efficient way. There's many more benefits to that that we can show on a slide later on that gives you the breakdown. But basically our e-power machine, bringing the negative ions into the body, sells for 1/5 of what the competitors are selling, and some of the competitors' units look like they were made with Radio Shack parts, frankly. They're not, look at that. A fish stole my bait while I was talking with you. Can you believe that? That would be what my granddaughter would say. She'd always say that. But anyway, our e-power machine is light years ahead in terms of quality of manufacturing, the ease of use, because it's very simple to operate. It's just basically 3 settings, low, medium, or high. And what you want to do is use it at the different settings for different amounts of time. But so it's very easy to use, so that's the e-power machine. There's another device in the electrical area called the advanced ERE, which is essentially a system of applying reflexology to the feet using a machine, which is kind of handy. You have to excuse me, I've got to wash my hands off. And that's very easy to use. And then so that covers the major components. And then there's one that's the like top of the line of all the equipment, and that's the Soaky bed, where it utilizes 3 of the far infrared domes with the chi machine on a medical grade bed. Makes it very easy to use a system. I think as far as ease of use, that's probably the one that's easiest to use, and creative people have been known to use the e-power with that system together. Excuse me again. Okay, I'll be back in just a moment. I've got to paddle us out a little bit. Oh, I'll just use the motor before we get too close here. I guess sometimes the motor is easier. I like to use the paddle when I can, but nothing wrong with firing up the motor just for a quick movement, so to speak. So where were we? The Soaky bed, that's right. The Soaky bed is nice because of the way it incorporates the far infrared technology and the motion technology in one system that's easy to use. Now, getting back to the concept of the wellness center, that's the product that you would have several of in your wellness center. The other important piece of information about that is that it lends an air of credibility from a medical standpoint, because they see the Soaky bed and they can tell that this is a medical product. There's something more than just what you're telling me. And again, it's one of those people like to see and touch in order to really fully comprehend the benefits of the system. We've got many testimonials out there on the products as far as using them and the benefits that people have received. And we've also got some medical studies that we have available that we can provide on a disc that will highlight the medical benefits of the products. And in fact, we just went to a conference here. I'm getting a bite, so you have to excuse me. We just went to a conference in Niagara Falls where a couple of surgeons talked about the benefits of using the e-power machine and the far infrared dome together. I mean, they had some just amazing um, results. And so if you were to use, if there were any products to use together, it would be them for sure. Now, I've got a pretty good bite here, so we're going to see if we've got a fish. But in fact, you know, it could be interesting if we catch a fish while we're doing our demonstration, which was the whole idea. So let's find out. It feels like a little one though. Yeah, it's like a little perch or something that's being pretty aggressive. So he's really tapping it. Yeah, it's a little perchy. We'll say hi to him anyway, even though he is a little perchy. Isn't he cute? He's a hungry little guy, isn't he? See, he's just a little guy. We're looking for the big bass right now. Okay, so as soon as I get this back on the hook, we'll talk about the Niagara Falls portion of it. Now, for those of you getting, you know, we will talk again about the wellness centers, but before we jump to that, here's some information for just people who are thinking about becoming distributors. It's a very easy product to sell. You can start as slow or as fast as you want. You don't have to like jump in and make a huge financial investment in order to get into the products. Essentially, the smart way to do it is to buy one of each of the products, i.e. the Chi machine, the dome, the e-power, and the ERE. And when you do that, they have a package called the Deluxe Combo. And with that, this month, you actually promote to supervisor, which if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, it means that you get to the next level of commission. And I'll talk about that later. I just didn't want to get into that yet. Another fish. You'll have to excuse me. It's the little guys. They're cute. Here he is. Isn't he? Cute one. See that little guy? All right, buddy. Sorry, but we're going to have to let you go. Give you a little blessing. God bless you. Yeah, we're trying to catch the bass, by the way. But sometimes the perch just like to, yeah, they bite quite a bit. So getting back to becoming a supervisor brings you to a higher commission level. And at the same time, you're getting one of each of the products to really give it a good test, because you could use one product at a time and they all work very nicely individually. And even some of the benefits overlap. But overall, to get the full synergistic effect, you want to use all the products, not necessarily at the same time, but you want to really use one of the products a little bit every day. So, for example, a typical session might be this. A typical day, you use the Chi machine with the far infrared dome over you, and the Chi machine may use it for 15 minutes, and the dome for 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how much time you have. Then, later on during the day, you'd use the e-power machine, and it's really recommended to use the e-power machine by itself, not to try to use it in conjunction with the other products. Even though you probably can, if you're careful, you could use it with the Chi machine and hothouse at the same time, but you couldn't use it with the ERE at the same time because they're both electrical products. But anyway, we won't diverge and talk about that, but essentially you'd use the e-power. Then later on you'd use the advanced ERE. Now the advanced ERE is the one you set your feet on. The e-power is the one that has the belt around the system. The Chi machine is the one that provides the motion, starting with your ankles and creating that fish-like motion, similar to the little fish we're catching here. And then the far infrared dome is the C shape, not to be confused with a hothouse where you grow plants, but it's the far infrared dome that's using the benefits of heat therapy. That's basically the same as the rays that are coming off the sun, but without the ultraviolet, so giving you the good benefits that are made. So if you wonder what I'm looking at when I look over to the left, well, I'm basically looking at my line or looking somewhere else in the water, because as you can see, we're kind of, if I go like this, you'd see we're actually moving, and we are in a boat. Going back to one of the benefits of becoming a distributor is that some people make it a business, a home business as it were, meaning you can work from home, set your own hours. I like to work from home and sometimes even work from boat, as the case may be. I have a cell phone that's getting the calls in case anyone should call and have questions or want to place an order. I'm ready and available right now to help our customers, anyone who's bought in the past, purchased in the past, any distributors that have questions, or any new customers. So that's one of the benefits of becoming a distributor, working at home. You can set your own hours. Most of the people think, oh, that's just too much. It's too much of, I can't commit to all that at once. And that's fine, because you can start slowly. We didn't commit to it right away. We started slowly ourselves. I was a web designer, and my wife a massage therapist. So basically we were just doing our own job and then sharing the equipment with people. Well, it turned out while we were sharing the equipment, there were many people that wanted to buy, and pretty soon there were many distributors who wanted to sell, and they needed support. So eventually, after about 2-3 years, we had to cut literally all the other things we were doing off in order to support the business and our customers full time, and that's what we do. So here I am taking a break literally on one of the few good days we have left here in Vermont. I won't say few good days, but one of the sunny and warm days, doing a little bit of fishing before the season closes. But at the same time, I wanted to share a little bit about the products, about setting up a wellness center. Now that we've covered a little bit about the becoming a distributor, you can look at the next video after this one that talks a little bit more specifically about just becoming a distributor and what you can do with that. But this video is going to continue now and talk about the different steps about opening up a wellness center. So stay tuned. Yeah, we're still recording, by the way, so this would be like the outtakes where you get the sun right in your eyes, because we're going to cast right here trying to catch a bass, because I know that they're in here, and sometimes we catch them when we least expect it. So now we're going to do a little bit of trolling. The audio may not be as good because the engine's on, so I will shut that off in just a moment. Okay, welcome back. We're still fishing. We're still out here on the lake. The common theme here is relaxation, running a home business, because this is basically, we're still working today. We haven't taken the day off, but yet we're out fishing. How do we do that? Well, having a home-based business can do that. There's a lot of different companies that are out there that are proclaiming, work from home, make thousands of dollars and all that. We're not one of those companies. You're not going to make thousands of dollars a month. Some people do. But I think the key is that you're making a living. You're helping people, and you're living a lifestyle that you would rather live rather than work for other people. You're essentially working for yourself. And there's a great, how would I want to say, there's a good feeling that comes from that, being able to help people and then run your own business. There are months where you're wondering, am I going to make enough money to pay the bills? And there's other months where you have more than enough to pay the bills. It's just a matter of you have to be able to, budget. And on those months where they're very fruitful, you have to keep aside your money. But again, that's just about having discipline. If you work in a regular business, that business goes through the same thing. They have to be able to budget and know what they're going to be spending and everything like that. I just wanted to see if I had a fish on the line because I thought I did. Yeah, it's a little perch again. You know, I have nothing against the perch. They're very cute fish, aren't they? Yeah. And you have to be careful when you're take off the hook, because you don't want to hurt yourself or hurt the little perch. This guy got hooked pretty good. Sorry about that, buddy. Okay, we're putting him back in the live well. We'll take him home with us. He was big enough to keep, so. Now, what was I saying? Back to supporting yourself as a distributor. Basically, it's easy just to get started. I mean, it only costs $24.95 to buy the kit. I suggest buying as much of the equipment as you can. If you're able to, come up with $19.99 in that price range to get the deluxe combo, because then you become a supervisor level, which we'll show another slide about as far as commissions. But the important thing about that is you're seeing all the products. You get to use each one, and then of course you probably know people who can benefit from the different products. Have you excuse me, we're caught on we got it, caught on a rock. All right, so we're going to head back over here and finish our conversation. We're still recording, by the way, yes. That's all right. All right. Okay, so let us start again. Now, where do we leave off? About the cost. So just to buy the distributor kit's $24.95, and you need to buy at least a chi machine at some point before you start receiving any commission. Once you've bought your distributor kit and the chi machine or something equivalent to it, like an e-power or ERE, then you'll start receiving a commission for every machine that you sell after that. Now, the nice thing is you don't have to keep inventory. Some people do to make it convenient, but overall you don't. You can just ship directly from the company, which is very convenient. And so that means you can sell a soaky bed, receive a nice commission for that, and not have to keep a bed in stock. I know there's a lot of people that like to keep a chi machine here and there in stock, just, because they have a lot of people that walk in and say, oh, I'd really like to have it. And, some people they need it immediately, and you can understand that. So it's wise to keep one or two chi machines in stock, so that you can service those customers who, they need something right away. I've found that it's actually very smart to buy enough machines basically to promote to supervisor. So that way, if you have somebody who's really interested in becoming a distributor, oh, we got another perch here, forgive me. Actually, not to forgive me, because there's nothing wrong. It's just that's why we're here. We're out fishing, and they just happen to be stopping by, as you're fishing. So what are you going to do, right? Okay, little buddy. In the live well he goes. And if there's anyone out there who is a vegetarian and they don't eat fish, you'll have to forgive me on catching fish, but I do try to do it as nicely as possible and not to injure the fish, and keep them alive till we get home. And right before I clean them, we make sure they're dead first, so that way they don't have to suffer. Anyway, getting back to the distributorship, so it's very easy to get started. We recommend buying all the products. Now, once your distributor kit, that's what you pay the $24.95 for, once it arrives, it's a 3-ring binder with a lot of marketing information about the product, how to get started, commission plan, things like that. Now, what I recommend is that you take a look at that book as much as possible. Just peruse it and then read the parts that seem interesting. Then from that standpoint, then you basically just give me a call and say, John, I've got questions, and ask specific questions. And at that point, then I would answer those for you.